Yo guys, good morning. It is Tuesday, brand new week. Didn't trade yesterday because there was no opportunities at all. So pretty much just caught up on work and recovered from the weekend. Watched the boxing on Sunday, so did have a few drinks. But yeah, Monday was a pretty quiet day. Now we're currently in Asian session, and I'm in a pretty risky trade. I'm not gonna lie, but it does make sense. So currently in the 3230 buys. Fortunately took our first trade and first loss this week. So got in on the second break of the 3230s after a breaker structure and a retest of this breaker structure, maintaining the lower time frame bullish structure. If we skip to the intraday a little bit, we have been very rangy, but you can also see kind of created like a minor intraday double bottom, or like we're just still maintaining that bullish structure despite not breaking highs. So yeah, everything was good, but I think we just got in a little bit too early, because now if we come down to this level here and we don't break, we've got the double bottom that we would have liked, that obviously would have give us more confirmation to continue. But the problem is right now it's 9:51 a.m. Eastern, so that means we're almost 2 hours since Asian Open. So yeah, I think this is just going to be a loss, and I think unfortunately I shouldn't have fucking took it, to be honest, because it wasn't the best setup. But yeah, took that loss. Now I guess we just have to wait for a better setup. I managed to close early before it hit stop loss, so I did lose less than I intended to lose. Pretty shitty trade, I'm not gonna lie, and a pretty shitty start to the week, but I believe we can pull it around. It's only Tuesday, and yeah, we've got some higher impact news later in the week, so we're just beginning the week, I feel like. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break now from the charts. I'm actually gonna journal this trade also, and potentially have some food because I'm really hungry right now. So I'll tap back in with you guys potentially later if we see any setups in the later sessions. But yeah, as of right now, Asian session is fucking chalked. So yeah, first loss. That means we're 1 hour down for the week so far. I'm not here to actually document a trade that I just taken. Unfortunately, we missed a trade, and it ended up being a very, very good trade. But we're going to go through that right now, and why I didn't take it, and price ran off without me. I just made a lapse of judgment, unfortunately, and I was hesitant after taking that loss previously that we just talked about. It's still Tuesday, so this would have been the second trade today. It's currently now New York session, but we're going to recap the London session now. So as you can see here, guys, this is the trade that we unfortunately missed. 3211 buys post London close. Quickly on the daily here, we at the start of this daily open, we were creating that bottom wick, so we were having that little bit of a pullback to the 3210s or the 3211s. And that's basically where I was looking out for potential buy positions because of the intraday AOY. As you can see clearly on the 4 hour, you can see here it's a clear AOY. It's a pretty large zone, but this was a potential place that I was looking to take buys off. After that, we created the double bottom basically on the intraday, but it wasn't really a strong intraday double bottom. It was a very minor intraday double bottom. As you can see here, we're basically just showing exhaustion around this area on the lower time frames. Started to shift back bullish on the lower time frames, but just before London Open we actually sweep these minor lows, and this is what put me off actually not getting in the trade. Obviously we're still above this low here, but we did sweep these minor lows. It isn't a big deal, but I was kind of a bit put off because I'm like, okay, now I want to see an actual shift in structure. And technically we did get like a minor, a very, very, very minor shift in structure. But if you look at it if you look at it overall, we've actually broken new lows here, and us just pushing back above this key level is barely even a pullback from this original push down that rated the lows. So I wanted a cleaner breaker structure and a cleaner double bottom for us to actually get into this trade. So that was what I was waiting for, and this just simply wasn't enough for me, even though like in hindsight it did work out, and I guess you could consider that like a very small break in structure. Did attempt to make these new lows, but we didn't break these lows obviously, which is kind of forms a double bottom formation, and then we continue back above the key level, pushing very strong bullish after that. So it ended up working out really well, but unfortunately we missed it because I wanted cleaner confirmation on the lower time frames. We did get that, like I said, that minor double bottom formation. I'll just mark it out here. So this is what I'm talking about when I say minor double bottom formation. So this was the first leg, the first bottom, and this is the second. So there we go. It's a clear sign of exhaustion on the intraday, and price just continued back above the key level. Before I knew it, it was already too late, and price was sitting there around fucking 60 pips in profit not long after the entry. Basically gave us the entry at 3:15 a.m. Eastern, and by 3:40 a.m. Eastern we had hit the 90 pip TP, and obviously price even ran on to the 33.30s after that, not long after that. But yeah, those were the optimal buy setups, and now price is just simply too high to buy, so I've just accepted that I missed the setup, unfortunately. So yeah, if I didn't take that loss early, I probably wouldn't have hesitated on those 32.11 buys, and I would have capitalized. I wouldn't, honestly, if I got in them, it doesn't mean it was a bad trade, it doesn't mean it was invalid. If I got in those trades, it would have been nice. I just would have had to keep in mind that it was barely a breaker structure and barely a double bottom that formed on the 1 minute after London Open. We're all human. Sometimes you're going to hesitate and price is just going to run off without you. Yo guys, quick update since the last clip. We've took one more trade. Gold buys, London session closed yesterday. It is currently New York session on Thursday right now, so it's been around 24 hours nearly since I took that last trade. But we're going to go through that last trade right now, as there could be a potential another trade forming as we speak. Wednesday, daily candle, London close, 33.04s. Continuations of the bullish price action on gold. Was pretty high price, but did have a nice setup on the lower time frames form for us, so we're going to go through that. So as you can see right here is 22nd of May. This is what my journal is currently looking like right now, and this is the last trade we took. Here is the setup. 33.04 buys as we were leading into 10 a.m. Eastern. Created new lows here, as you can see, pulled back above the key level, attempted to make new lows, but we did not break this previous low here. Clear sign of intraday exhaustion. Although it might be minor intraday exhaustion, it is still intraday exhaustion regardless. Something very, very key happened obviously after 10 a.m. Eastern. You can kind of see a triple bottom, not a double bottom, a triple bottom formation form here as price attempted to make new lows, rejected, and then took off and finally broke that bearish structure back bullish above the 33.04s. And then after that we actually got a retest of that structure and a push back above the key level, and we were only around, I think, 15, maybe 10 minutes away from London close at this point. So of course I hopped in right around here at the key level, put my stop loss 30 pips just below these lows, and price pretty much just flew after London close, hitting our TP at 33.13s. You can see here on the 15-minute price was still pretty messy, but we were creating this like lower time frame slash minor intraday range. where price did break out, pulled back to retest, and then ranged above it and eventually dumped back into the range, and that's where we made those lows that I was talking about before. But after we made those lows, we did not break a single low after that, and price just continued back bullish above that significant key level. So realistically, you can call this like a lower time frame / minor break and retest formation, where we had the breakout, we had the retest back into the range, and then we pushed back above the key level to continue the bullish trend. 1 to 3, 90 pips in the bag, which puts us in profit for the week. Yeah, that's just a quick breakdown of the last trade that I took. Potentially looking at some more buys, but a quick market update of where price is right now on Thursday. You can see here, obviously we continued those buys, we rode those buys further into new intraday highs, but since then we've peaked and flipped back bearish on the daily, as you can see here. Large top wick, large bottom wick, small candle body, signifying indecision. Now, because I think before we even created a bottom wick, we were breaking into like new intraday highs, and obviously broke the previous daily highs, as you can see here. So it was kind of inevitable for me personally, especially with all this bullish price action previously, earlier in the week, that daily candle later in the day was going to flip bearish. So that's why I just didn't even bother trading the earlier sessions. Then we've had a pretty healthy lower time frame minor intraday pullback back to the 32.88s, as you can see here. So potentially could be setting up for some more continuation buys, but I don't really want to force it. I definitely do feel better about price action than I did when we were here, because there wasn't really any sort of correction, or there wasn't really any sort of intraday confirmations, if I'm going to be totally honest. It was kind of just a complete lower time frame minor intraday setup. I don't want to say that I'm not open to taking another trade, because I definitely am. We've only took 3 setups this week. We could very easily catch another setup maybe today or tomorrow. That's no problem. I am open to that, but I will be looking for higher probability setups, that's for sure. We're definitely closer to some intraday AOIs today, so we can definitely see a better setup forming potentially today or into the next daily candle, maybe in the early sessions, who knows.
I know it's insane. I'm grateful, but I'm kind of tired of fame.
We just caught some more London close buys to end Thursday daily candle. 32.88s, double bottom buys, London close, caught them perfectly. Just basic setup. We tapped into the intraday AOI around the 32.88s. Created that double bottom. We created the first leg at 10 AM Eastern, and then the second leg came after London close, pushed back above the key level, and it was pretty much wraps after that. It took about an hour to hit TP. I called it out on my Telegram. Another 1 to 3 are bagged. I'm not going to break it down because it's a pretty textbook trade, or maybe I might break it down tomorrow, but I'm really tired right now. It's currently like almost 1 AM for me, so I'm going to go to bed because I want to be up early tomorrow. But yeah, another amazing week in the bag. 3 wins. Well, we missed 1 trade, so only technically 2 wins, 1 loss. Puts us up for 1 to 5R for the week. That's it, bros. The end of the week. Only like roughly 5 or 6 hours left of the weekly candle. Friday, I did not take a trade today, although as you can see, price was still extremely bullish and broke out of that range above the 33.10s and went on to the 33.60s it peaked at today. Majorly bullish, but no trades for me, no setups were given today for me. So I'm happy with my results this week, and we call it a week. That is it done. Just wanted to tap in on Friday because I haven't made a clip today. Just been training and prepping for the next week because I kind of knew in the back of my head that I wasn't going to take a trade today. I've been monitoring all the sessions, Asian, London and New York. But yeah, even yesterday I kind of had it in the back of my head that I wasn't going to take another trade. But yeah guys, exercise discipline today, and now we just move on to the next week, the last week of May. So I'll catch you guys next week. Another profitable week in the bag.